Techno Hollywood.
Here, which episode is this for?
4.
Okay, good.
Techno Hollywood episode 4.
Wow, we're on to number 4 already. Here we go.
We got to cover some stuff we missed last week, which was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Rihanna's amazing, what I think is amazing performance. I'm so amazing, I'm dressed like one of the performers, all white.
Yeah, you're missing the hoodie though.
And here, I'm going to break it down why I think Rihanna's performance is so good. So, first off, you see her repertoire of hits. Like, we're talking 13-minute show and 8 or 9 hits.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And you keep thinking, like, during the show, maybe Jay-Z's going to come out for Umbrella. Maybe Drake's going to come out for Work. And then you're like, no, Rihanna doesn't need to bring anyone out. She can just coast, chill, play the hits, have the stage, do amazing stuff. And you know, from stage production and dancers, the tightness of the dancers and the movement and the stage was next level.
Lots of rehearsing,
It wasn't very flashy, so it wasn't as flashy as like a Lady Gaga one, but I loved it. I thought she did a great job. And the whole thing was just, for me, one of the top 5 Super Bowls. With
really?
like Prince,
Okay, it's funny,
Prince, Lady Gaga, Rihanna. I think those are my 3 favorites.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's controversy about it. Not controversy, but there's mixed opinions for sure. Like, we had a little group chat going on.
That should be what the internet's called, mixed opinions.
Mixed opinions,
It's just mixed people can't agree.
As long as it's opinions and no one kills each other, that's fine, I feel.
We'll see.
But I thought personally, like, and first of all, I have to say I'm a fan. I like Rihanna's music, not all of it, but I've been following since Pon the Replay, so I
Mr.
go
DJ.
deep. Yeah, Mr. DJ.
Who was that?
Yeah.
J.R. Rodham?
No, it was two Americans, but I forgot their name now. But they had a bunch of hits, and they were.
Oh no, J.R. Rodham did the one that starts with La La La.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
album
2.
And then basically, my
SOS.
opinion was like basically it was underwhelming to me. So I'll give you the stage production, the platforms. It looked very stylish, very slick. So it actually looked very not so American flashy. It looked very like especially toned down,
kind of
classic
European
style. Kind of European in a way, like stylish and very.
So you hate your own people,
like minimalistic type of thing. But from the performance-wise of her, like. It's just like it felt a little. I don't know if there's a program here in the States. In Germany, we had one. It was called a mini playback show. So it was basically people lip syncing.
Is that time. It's called mini playback show?
It's called mini playback
but
show,
but not in English.
Yeah, it's a German.
Well, say it in German.
No, it's called mini playback show in
English, in German.
In German, yeah, and it was basically kids mimicking and doing lip sync to music. Like little, and that's a very, it's kind of hard to say, but I mean, it felt like a mini playback because, like, I think she sang some of the stuff live, but it was really like a lot of people do that. To be fair, like with the safety track basically running, with the vocal safety track, and also it was just like, okay, I get the dancing, I get the choreography, she's moving along, she felt confident, it looked kind of cool, but then it's like. After 2-3 minutes, nothing happens. Then it's like of course, it's a medley of all the hits, which it's supposed to be. But if you then, like, I was like, am I missing something? I went straight back after that, listened to, of course, to Prince. I saw the one with Beyoncé, Coldplay, and Bruno Mars.
You can't beat Prince.
Yeah, I know, you can't because that's a whole different league in a way of its own. But just to even, like, in pop culture, to go back, because people are like, that's a top 3 one. It's like, check the Beyonce one again. Check there's so many other ones that are, I feel music, but I feel like overall show was great. It was cool, different for sure. But just
Prince's
talking as a musician.
Was so good.
Yeah.
Prince's one was so good. Beyonce was a backup dancer
I know,
for Prince. Like that's how good Prince's was.
Yeah. And so basically, I think from a musical standpoint, we can all agree that it was because there was no real band, there was no musician, there was no musical interaction between things. It was like it just felt like a DJ cut together a medley and then some people danced to it, like to say it toughly. That's just that those
it wasn't
are the two
very
opinions,
live. I give you that. Yeah. It was kind of like a in-person music video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it looked great, but after a while, you're like, okay, I get it now with the platforms. They're flying around a little bit. Okay, they're in the air. Okay,
but
what's
just like
next?
It was a concept, and I feel like they took a concept, and that concept that they had, they executed perfectly to the point where shine bright like a diamond. She's on top, shining. The whole thing, how high she like. I think
it's very. I was almost very artsy.
It's subtle.
It's subtle, but it was
too subtle for the Super Bowl in some ways.
In a way, too subtle for her music and for the Super Bowl, because we're talking about the biggest thing in America. We're not talking about an art fair somewhere in East Berlin or something. You know, like that's a whole different thing. You know, like so it's almost like trying too hard to be low profile, subtle, and stylish. You know,
but sometimes when something is so big and so complicated. And it is to move all those people, all those dancers, and all the stages, and then she would be not in lock with the dancers, and then they come in and they lock. That is,
lots of rehearsing for sure.
It's very hard to do that well, and they executed that concept. So they made something that was very complicated, very hard, look just like easy.
Easy.
And that's a big skill.
To make it look effortless. But,
it looked effortless, like, oh, anyone could do this. And I think that takes away, the fact that people think that takes away from it. Oh, because it's not like Katy Perry rides out, she had one of the best ones ever too.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But she ran out like on a, there's like a set and there's like electronics and she's like riding a big lion. And you're like, okay, you very clearly see song to song, things are like exploding and stuff like that. But I think they cut down the time.
Yeah, it felt short.
Because I think, and I don't know this for sure, that they used to be longer. Because it was only 13 minutes.
It used
is
to be
like,
at least 15, 16, 17, almost 20 minutes.
At least 20. I thought it was 20, 30 before.
Yeah.
Because when I walked away from that, I was like, wow, she did like 20 minutes in the same thing.
I mean, it fits to everything. They cut down everything. Like if you look at it now, a radio song or like a Spotify song is 2 minutes. 2:10. Like back then, the rule when I started producing, all the hits are 2:10 now.
So it's just no bridge?
There's nothing. It's like verse, chorus, done. You know,
well, look at Travis
the rule
Scott's.
was 3:30 back then. That was already like a challenge because you had like longer songs. And if you look at even the 80s or the 70s, whatever, all these songs had no restrictions. And then radio and advertising came in the picture, and then they started cutting down the songs. But now it's like, now you know why it is for 2 minutes? Because they just optimize Spotify stream time, because the stream counts at 30 seconds. It counts as a stream. So they want people to listen to it and then repeat listening to it, because that's how you make money on
Same with good Instagram clips. You don't really know. They loop almost. It starts again, and you're like, "Am I still watching the old one?" And you're like, "No, I'm not." And like a good loop is like really important.
Get at least 2 or 3 views, you know.
But Drake was ahead of that. We can talk about Drake too, and some other artists. But Drake was ahead of the game in terms of like, oh, an album is no longer an album. I'm releasing a playlist, and that playlist is going to be long. It's going to be 20 plus songs, and I can do whatever I want in that format. And doing that, I capture more streams and become a bigger artist. Than saying like, oh, I have to put a 74-minute, which is the length of a CD type playlist out. That's no longer the game.
That's true. And I mean, talking about Drake, it's funny because we just, you totally missed Drake's dance album. And I was I
didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, and I was a little shocked. I was like, how come? Because it was I felt in Europe when it dropped last year or something, it was a big thing because it crossed a lot of bridges and involved a lot of people that I knew personally too. I was like, that I saw it all over my feed.
Like producers on the album?
producers, songwriters. So what Drake did, which when people don't know, I guess, he did a so-called dance album, meaning like he did more like house, deep house, Afro house type of beats, and was doing his thing over and rapping over it. And basically, I mean, I skipped to one of the songs. You didn't really feel it.
I didn't really get it. Yeah, I felt like I'd enjoy it more as an instrumental.
And the funny thing is, he even said it himself. He's like, this is the stuff I just did because I wanted to do it. And you'll get it in 2-3 years. You know, you're going to look back and be like, wow. He
all of Drake's albums I like 2 or 3 years later more.
I guess, yeah.
Like Scorpion, I'm really rediscovering. I'm like, oh, this is some great stuff on here.
And he was, because everyone, like Beyonce did a dance album. But basically, Drake was first. He did a dance album first, being a big urban
Is it in the dance category?
It's in the dance category, for
What's
sure.
the album called?
Honestly, never mind something.
Yeah.
And the thing is also, he got the real, I would say, like not the real, but the real cool underground credible producers in. You know, like Black Coffee was involved. That's a great success story also about Afro House. I think then Gordo, he's called it, used to be called Carnage, the big hip hop DJ, now turned techno house DJ, was involved. And then the guys from Keine Musik, which are 3 producers from Berlin, I know one of them quite well. Adam Port, shout out. And basically, they got involved too. And it's like, it's so cool. So he's taken really, he had a good team around him to find the right people to get involved with this album. And it felt a little bit more deep, cool, undergroundy in a way. And then if you compare it to the Beyonce Dance album, because she had some really good, credible old school, new school producers on her album.
This is the new album where she's on the horse.
Exactly, yeah.
The glass
Renaissance.
horse.
That's the one. That's why she just got a Grammy for in the dance category. We can talk about that too in a sec. And so basically, I felt that was more like. I mean, she did like old school organ house 90s references, and she basically had like a disco house record talking about like Purple Disco Machine type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But the Drake album had like now current cool underground deep people that are doing it now, and there's no reference, you know. So it was a little bit. It felt. That's
what
it
felt like.
Fresh.
There's no I didn't know what I was listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just clicked through it one time, and I was like, didn't speak to me because I think I was looking for something identifiably
to basically, and also you will think of like if you listen to Beyonce's record, you're like, cool, that sounds like a 90s organ house record.
Yeah.
This sounds
one sounds very Prince.
Yeah, this one sounds like Prince. This sounds a little bit like a disco funk and a chic record. The Drake one is like it's a little bit more next level, I feel, music.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't, apparently from what I heard, it didn't do that well, but I'm sure it opened up a lot of markets in Europe and in places where they don't listen to a lot of hip hop R&B, because then it's more relatable. You had the sort of the house groove at 120 BPM.
Was there too much singing? Like,
yeah, maybe.
Was there like too much Drake on it?
Yeah.
For it to be that category?
Yeah.
That's what I felt. I was like, it just felt like a regular Drake album because there's so much of him. Like there was not a lot of places where the music breathed and like he stopped singing. Yeah.
Because club music is all about.
And maybe I don't know, and I didn't listen to it all the way through.
No, but you're right, because like
first.
Normally like club music that I do and that I still work with singers, I'd say like it's at the most is 20-30% of a song should be vocals. The most. It's not a real song structure thing. You know, like it's
a vibe.
It's a vibe. There's maybe one verse, if at all. There's one chorus, one breakdown, and then it just stays instrumental. And we're talking about a length of 5, 6, 7 minutes songs, you know. And I feel also Drake also tried to squish it down to like 3-4 minutes, and then you lose that whole vibing, you know, because then it's just too much vocals, too much story, too much lyrics involved.
Yeah, too much lyrics, and just there's no rest.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just vibe. You know?
Yeah.
So and then talking about the Grammys now. Beyonce, she won in the dance category.
So she entered her album as a dance album.
Yeah, I guess, she entered it as a dance album.
Because you can choose, I think it's like, they don't really, like, you can just... I
think it's a tactical thing, like some labels choose to do whatever.
Yeah, but you just tick a box, and they just say, okay.
Yeah,
they don't really. I've never seen pushback. And maybe if you entered like a rap album in a country, they might be like, whoa,
because
whoa.
The Academy, there must be someone checking. So because the categories, they seem to be a little bit all over the last years, but I think this category, from what I could tell,
I'm saying is that she could have chosen to do dance or any other category.
I think she was in the R&B.
She could probably be pop category, R&B.
I guess, yeah, but it was purposely.
Is there still a rap song category?
Yeah, there is, but she was purposely in the dance category, and there was a little bit of mixed feelings about that too, because on one hand the dance category was always very low in the ranks,
like not televised,
not even televised. No one talked, no one cared really. Yeah. Now because she was in it, like she got it televised, which was good, and then of course all these artists that are sort of not that known for the main general public got a little bit of a spotlight. But then also there was the good side, but the downside was like people said like, hey, she won the dance category album because she's such a big artist, but she's also taken away a spot of a real dance artist that has been doing dance for, let's say, 10 to 15, 20 years, and of course has no chance to win against Beyonce, you know? So. Right. So that was a little bit a mixed thing, and I feel like from what I could tell, all the other nominees like Diplo, Bonobo, Rufus Du Sol, also from Australia, they were like, she's gonna win anyways, you know, like, but hey, what can we do, type of thing, no? And because last year the category was won by like a real dance artist who's been doing dance artists, not just as a fun fad on the side like a Beyonce, like. But
I mean, I was a Grammy voting member for a long time, and the name recognition is huge because
it's like 10,000
there's
people.
Just like just to like they have the full list of all the people who can be selected to be nominated, and you're just going down this list as like people, and you then you notice people. So she has such a strong chance of making it to that final 5, 6, whatever it is, and then so she's gonna get there no matter what, pretty much. And then I feel like it's a certain point. It's not a guarantee to win, but it's a definitely strong chance.
Yeah. So I mean, I was voting for Bonobo, you know, like, and but that's
I have shirts by Bonobos.
See, there you go. It
means monkey, right?
Yeah, it's a monkey, but it's actually a British artist that's very big in the dance world, electronic world. And he just played a great Grammy party we talked about last time, and Joplin went down there to see it in a warehouse, 5,000 people, and was also running a little later than 2 a.m., you know? Because I was also thinking about this, I don't know if we covered it last time, but it's so funny, like, that there's not really... like compared like New York and LA nightlife, I think like a friend of mine, he just said it right. He's like, if you need people to be condensed a little bit to have a vibe going. So, and you're losing the vibe, and you need to be able to hop somewhere. Like you go into there's a cool bar, there's not, let's move to the next space, you know, and you don't have that momentum, and you don't have the density.
Because then you're like, all right, let's go to the next place. And then it's like, you get your car, you drive, you put in the nav, where is it? 45 minutes, everyone's tired.
And then there's a problem with the door. Like, it's like, there's another half hour when you can move to the next spot. I've done it here before. Like, of course, it's fun in the car if you keep it fun and stuff, but it's like, you definitely tend to lose the vibe.
You're like, buckle your seatbelt.
I know, it's like we were just buzzing in the club and in the bar or whatever.
A sterile car environment.
In the car and stuff, you know. So I feel that's obviously a big problem. But it's not a problem. It's just a different way to be. You
got to get like an Uber Black, and then you get an Uber Black, and then you talk to the guy.
Yeah, you need to have a driver.
And then you can keep the vibe going. But if like one of you is driving, the vibe goes away.
Yeah, so if I'm sure people do it like. In Hollywood and LA, if you really want to plan a full proper night out here, you really need a driver,
or just Uber Black, like the high-end Uber.
I guess, but then someone needs to call the Uber, then it doesn't. But those ones come all the time, right? I don't know. I don't use Uber Black that much.
I mean, I think other Ubers don't come.
Yeah, of course. Like sometimes if it's too busy, Grammy week, like I was waiting for half an hour
Grammy
for
week would be hard.
So you need drivers to basically drive you from one spot, drop you at the door, go in, and then tell the guy, okay, come around in 5 minutes, get in the car, move, and then it's smooth. I think that's a goal here.
Have a driver.
Have a driver for partying.
Or just Tesla Autopilot.
Or Tesla Autopilot. That's the future.
Yeah. But you're still driving.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and I mean, I think what's coming up this week. Yeah, this week we're rehearsing for. There's actually it's a little bit of a secret showcase, but we're
for Joplin.
For Joplin, yes. I don't know. I guess when this airs, I don't know if that's out yet, but we'll not mention names right now. But we can talk about it later. But it's a little bit of an interesting story about how LA creates opportunities again. You know, like we talked about this for us being here and sort of being in the mix and the vibe. Like, so I was just connecting with a friend. Like he's German. He moved here 3-4 years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, come by this new place in Hollywood. We can have a coffee or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Send me the address. It's somewhere in Hollywood, West Hollywood." And he put the name. And he's like, "It says Heimat." I'm like, "Okay, that's weird." And
the German name?
It's a German name. It means home. Like
Heimat.
Heimat means
so yeah.
But more like in a country.
When you come home, you're like, honey, I'm Heimat.
No, I don't know. Heimat means almost more like mother country, father. Like it's like more like a country.
You can't say that
thing.
anymore.
Yeah, again, you can't say that. I guess, especially being German. Just kidding. No, it's Heimat. And then I didn't know what it was. I just punched in. I went there in the afternoon. I got them like, this is kind of cool, kind of weird. And then it was a hidden entrance in the back, all stylish and fancy. And then there was a reception. I was like, what is this? You know? So then I told him, hey, come down, I'm here. And then he came down. He's like, hallo, wie geht's? Ja. Lang nicht gesehen. And it's a long time to see and stuff. And he's also a DJ in the music business. And I've met him hanging out with some other music people. And I was like, what is this? This is cool. And he's like, no, this is the gym of the future. I'm like, what do you mean? And I was like, let me show you. And then it was like a private club. So you had to sign in. And it felt like a Soho House type of thing, but a very cool...
Like Equinox meets Soho House?
Yeah, Equinox meets Soho House. That's how the N meets WeWork type of thing.
N meets WeWork?
That's sort of the the unofficial claim.
Yeah.
So what it is,
everyone's trying to be the Soho House of something else.
I know.
The Soho House of like noodle shops. The Soho House of gardeners.
Did you bring your card?
Yeah.
So we walk in and it's super stylish, like the inside felt very warm and welcoming. Great lighting, you know, like I feel that's always important, I feel. And then he showed us to all these rooms and it was like high-end gym stuff. Like it looked like a movie set, but like a gym. Like
you just stand in there and the machine does everything.
The machine does everything, yeah. And then you could see like Pilates things and all this, what it's called on the bicycle skipping, like
elliptical?
No, like on these speed bikes and they have loud techno music and you scream.
Where they yell at you and like you're not
right, cycling or something, right?
cycle bots or cycle
something like this, yeah.
Soul Cycle.
I don't know, yeah, maybe. And then they had like, and it was 4 or 5 floors of different gyms.
Of Heimat?
Yeah, of Heimat. And I was like, wow. And then he's like, let me show you this.
But in English, do they say, hi, welcome to Heimat?
Yeah, they say Heimat, I guess. Heimat. Because it's Heimat. How would you pronounce this?
Heimat,
yeah.
Hi, welcome to Heimat.
Heimat, but it's M-A-T.
Heimat,
yeah. I think
welcome
that's
to Heimat?
Heimat, yeah. That's over. Yeah, but I mean,
tough name.
So there's a backstory to that German name, obviously. So he showed us there's a common working space. They have a rooftop terrace. They have a rooftop pool. They have a jacuzzi.
Wow.
A restaurant up there with views right all over the
Sign
city.
me up.
Like it was like crazy, different and cool. And I was like, then he's like, yeah, you actually know the owner, I think. I'm like, because I was like, what is this? When was this open? He's like, a couple months ago, last summer. I was like, but who?
On La Brea?
It's on La Brea, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's is this? What is this? And he's like, yeah, it's from Rainer Schaller, the McFit guy. And I'm like, what? And I was like, wow. Because I met, so a little backstory quickly. Rainer Schaller is like basically a self-made billionaire who tragically passed away a couple months ago with his family on a plane ride in Costa Rica.
I saw that in the news.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
It was really tragic. So he was a self-made guy who started a fitness chain in Germany all over Europe called McFit.
Like McDonald's?
Yeah. It's
McFit?
Like McFit, yeah. Like McDonald's, McFit. And it was like a revolutionary because it was high-end gyms, but for like $15 a month. Like it was like
I can't believe McDonald's let that slide.
Yeah, I guess it worked.
It sounds like a sandwich. The McFit with fries.
But there's like McPaper, there's Mac, there's all these Mac. I didn't know that too. That Mac means basically it's very cheap and budget.
Mick?
Like MC
or
MC. Like I didn't know that's the term in Europe, or at least in Germany, for budget things. So
because of McDonald's.
Yeah, because of McDonald's. Like it's McPaper, it's McFit, Mac things. I'm sure there's 20 or 30 companies called Mac or something in Europe or in Germany.
Well, in France they call McDonald's McDo.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to McDo?
McDo. Yeah, McDo, yeah. So anyway, so this was 20 years ago. He
we can have some gitans with our McDo.
Gitan, here we go. And then basically he, to cut it short, like he built this fitness chain. He's a controversial guy, but he had like the Klitschko, the boxing brothers, like some of the testimonials. I got to know him because of a mutual friend that I grew up with. He worked for him, so I was able to hang out with him over the years. He was even in my studio back then in Berlin. We recorded some music. I recorded the Klitschko's rapping and stuff in my studio. It was kind of fun, you know, and Vladimir is such a cool guy, you know? And then, anyway, so he told me 4 or 5 years ago, he said, hey, Tan, are you in LA right now? Tan, I see, I said, Tan, are you in LA right now?
Tan, are you here?
I have some friends, some employees of mine, like we want to start something in the US. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's meet for lunch. And so I met the two people, and they're like, yeah, we're looking for a space. We don't know how to enter the market yet. We're looking at different opportunities. We're probably not going to call it MedFit. We want to do something a little bit new, different, maybe a little bit more upscale, just like a lifestyle brand. I was like, yeah, cool. And we were just chatting, hanging out. The girl was called Silke. And then I was like, okay, cool. But I forgot about this. And then obviously the pandemic hit and all that stuff. And this was basically the place he was talking about, and this was what I was talking about 5 years ago. So to actually stand in it by accident and be like, oh, okay, wow, this is the vision came true.
Yeah.
And then I met all the people again. They're like, hey, Tan, what are you doing here? Like, this is funny. Like, remember, yeah, we talked about this. And then they showed me around. There's like, yeah, this is what we talked about. It took 2-3 years to build this. We just opened Rainer was there for the opening. He had a chance to see the vision come through. By the way, just a disclaimer, like this guy was really successful. Like I think he just bought the Gold's Gym also. Like all the chains all over the US. He has a billionaire.
Yeah.
And then he bought, like he has a John Reed thing. So, and then he has Heimat now. And Heimat is like the top of the notch thing, you know, like it's a members club for.
Yeah, I saw there was an article in the LA Times or New York Times about it, how like they're kind of exclusive.
It's exclusive.
Like, check out your Instagram profile when you
have to. Not everyone can become a member, and apparently the member waiting list is full. Like even if you want to become a member, you need ins right now to get in, because it's really if I was more into working out in gym, obviously I'm not. Basically, I would go there, you know, because it's really. It's a cool place. You can hang out. Basically, you can spend the whole day there. You can eat, chill, work, go to the gym.
I like when I said you're looking good because you're on that fasting program. Like you only eat one meal a day.
I eat one meal a day,
which is insane. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, you must be pretty trim. And you're like, no, I still have my Restfat. And I said, is that a real word? Is that a German word or is that an English word?
No, it's a real word. It's called Restfat. And it means, like literally translated, the rest fat,
the fat, but it's like such a perfect word.
It's a perfect word. Yeah, you were cracking up.
And we told Benji about Restfat too, and like it's such a I have Restfat right now. I'm resting.
Everyone has some Restfat. The older you get, like you have a little bit of the Restfat, because
#Restfat.
It's like basically it takes a while for the Restfat to really go away. You know,
even it never goes away.
I guess if you're working really hard,
like you're doing like a shirtless scene in a movie and you're like buff. Yeah. But like everyone has Restfat.
Yeah, but I'm sure like super athletes don't. But
we should have a Restfat competition. Who can get rid of most of the Restfat?
Restfat, yeah. I think that's a good gym name too.
Restfat.
Restfat, like get rid of your Restfat.
Yeah, I don't think you want a gym with fat in the
title. I guess. Yeah, no.
But
anyway, so
Heimat, remove the Restfat.
Go to Heimat to lose your Restfat. Yeah. And so where was I? Okay, so I met Thomas there at the Heimat. Like, shout out to him, like great DJ. He takes care of all the music program and stuff. So we were just hanging out. He showed me all this stuff. There was a little bit of a cool moment to like sort of recap what someone had a vision a couple of years ago, and then it just came to fruition. They spent millions obviously on this place, and it looks stunning and it works. You know, like
I want to go see it. Let's go stop by.
We can go there. And then he's like, yeah, we're just hanging out and we're talking about Joplin. He's like, what's your project doing with the music? Yeah, I'm here to work. And he's like, you know what? Have you met this guy from this audio brand? Which I can't talk because I signed an NDA, but next week I'll talk about it. Yeah. And then he's like, they're launching a new product, and I think they're looking for some DJs who can also sing, potentially maybe female. I think Joplin could be a good fit. I'm like, I guess, yeah, cool. Like, let me think about it. I connect you to the guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then next day, he sort of connected me. The guy sort of knew about Joplin already, which was a good sign, because I was like, okay, well, like an American guy, like knowing about this project, this brand already. And he's like, and then we talked on the phone, and things happened fairly quickly. And he's like, I think this could be a good fit. She's an up and coming artist. She not only DJs and performs, but she also sings. We have this new product where we want to incorporate vocals more and stuff and singing. Let's do it. So basically this week. No, it is next. What's today? Friday. Friday. Next week, actually, we're gonna tape the whole showcase recording. It's a big launch. It's a worldwide launch.
Is it actually next week?
No, it's actually next week is the recording, and in 2 weeks is the actual launch.
So we won't say the name.
Yeah, next week we can talk about the thing, because then I think it's exciting. There's a big other artist too, like a really known DJ that's also gonna perform. They're gonna film the whole thing. It's like an AR, VR type of place. And just to say again, it's so exciting these things just happen. That's what I tell everyone. Like
Hollywood magic.
Yeah, Hollywood magic. And you just got to get out there in a way. Like if I didn't go out there and it's just randomly meet a friend and hang out, talk about stuff, these things would have not happened. You
know, you got to leave the house. You got to be in the mix.
You got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And also, of course, it helps if you then have a product, a project, or something to offer in a way, which sort of fits. You know,
you don't just leave the house with nothing.
Exactly. No, but it's exciting. So I reconnected with this German friend. Then there's this whole backstory of like seeing the super gym. I call it the Heimat gym
of a dead guy.
Yeah. And then basically creating business out of it potentially, and then having this great relationship now and having an opportunity to perform and showcase these new this new product with Joplin, you know. So all this happened by just going out and hanging out there a little bit in the mix, and then reconnecting
and being
with
German.
And being German. It helps. As stupid as it sounds, like there is definitely a German community here because there's a fairly big expat community, I feel. And I feel like sometimes the Germans that are here, they would probably not hang out too much if they were all in Germany still, because then you have other options in a way. But here it feels like if you're German and you're half cool, then you're that basically people tend to.
Are
hang
you
out
full
with,
German? Yes. Are you half cool? Yes. Okay. Here's the group.
Here's the group. Enter the group. I mean, I think there's a Facebook group called Germans in LA.
Half cool Germans in LA.
Yeah, half cool Germans. It's like 20,000 people or something or more. I have no idea. But so that helps to be in that mix in a way, and it opens doors. Like you still have to walk through them in a way.
Totally.
But I think there was a good example about like a Hollywood opportunity that would have not happened much in Berlin, and also not on that scale.
Right.
But it also leads back to Berlin in a way, because the Heimat thing with Rainer Schaller and McFit, that all started in Berlin. You know, like so it was a full circle moment.
It's a perfect Techno Hollywood moment.
Yeah, it was a full circle moment in a way for me at least. You know,
you have a job to do right now. You can do something weird while I go to the bathroom.
Again?
I'm drinking so much liquid.
Oh my God, this guy is killing me. So I guess we're gonna cut this out again, but I can just talk more now. In cut. So stupid. No, so another thing I was that happened last week. So we were invited because it's the Oscars coming up. So there's a lot of screenings.
Grammys, then Oscars.
Yeah, it's like award season, which is great. You know, like but also so distracting, but it's great. So
Emmys, maybe.
Emmys. I think it starts with the Emmys, right? Because it's like Emmys,
Golden
Grammys. No, it's the Golden Globes. Sorry,
yeah.
Golden Globes. I don't know when was Emmys. I don't know. Golden Globes, and then it's Grammys, and then it's like art fair,
and then ESPYs, maybe BET Awards,
and then it's the Oscars.
Yeah.
What BET? There's no. Is there BET Awards?
There used to be.
Okay,
I think they got rid of it.
I think I don't
Source
know.
Awards. That was
VMAs, yeah.
The VMAs. Oh, Much Music.
Much Music, yeah. The Echo in Germany, yeah.
Is it now? Okay, now you're really sad.
That was canceled 5 years or 10 years ago.
There's no more Echoes?
There's no more German music award. It's so sad.
They don't recognize?
Yeah, because it's like they messed it up, and then
why bother?
I mean, the Brits still the Brit Awards. Yeah, the Brit Awards. Yeah, that's
but
great.
It's just Craig David every year.
No, it's not. Like it's like
he performs every year.
No, he's long gone, but he came back actually. Then so, anyways, we are invited to screening because there's all these screenings now. And a friend of mine, he works in special effects for like big things like
the
Game
Junos.
of Thrones. Junos, shut up. And then
Junos are important.
I know, yeah, I guess for Canada. And then basically, like, we are invited to see the second film of Wakanda, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
The second film of Wakanda.
Sorry, I didn't see the first one, full disclosure. But I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And it was in the Fox Theater. And
not
in Fox Studios, sorry.
Fox Studios, because Fox Theater is in UCLA.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So
okay.
Fox Theaters, you're on the lot.
Yeah,
Fox lot.
I'm on the actual Fox Studios lot in
so
Hollywood.
You have a pass. There's a security guy's giving you a pass.
Yeah, there's a huge security, and it was like, it's mind-blowing because, I mean, I think I was at Universal Studios years ago, but it's mind-blowing how big these studios are. And
it's like magical.
Yeah,
too.
I know. It's like it's a own city, and you drive through there.
It's a city.
It's a city. It's busy. And then you drive by
a private city,
like a city, and then it's like The Simpsons on there. Then you see like Star Wars because it's also Disney, right? I guess and then it's like, wow, and then you go to this one theater, which is huge, and they have like a couple of theaters and to show their movies, to test their movies, I guess. So we watch a movie. It was a entertaining, good movie, I thought. Like, and then
popcorn movie.
Popcorn, but it was like just visually and also like from the sonics and the sound design. We'll talk about this in a sec.
But do you follow like the Marvel story? Like,
No.
have you seen them all?
No.
So you don't really know where you
I
are?
have no idea.
You don't, you're not, so you're just watching it as like an individual movie, like
totally.
a one-off.
Exactly, one-off. I have no idea who is what, and I think I've seen one Marvel thing I forgot already.
That's not acceptable.
I know.
Were you lost?
No.
Because like you're one of the few people.
Yeah.
Most people have seen a lot, because there's like Iron Man, Spider-Man, there are all these mans.
I've seen an Iron Man once.
Yeah, so it's like, and there's a whole lore that ties them all together.
Okay, I guess.
It still stood up as a one.
Yeah, but it was I knew what I was gonna get into, but
you're like, superhero, bad guy. They fight.
Interesting part was the Q&A after. So because they're trying to win people over.
The Q&A is just you. Excuse me, I'm lost. What is
why? No, so the Q&A was like the main thing was Angela Bassett was there.
Oh wow,
which was really cool. And for me, it was cool that Ludwig Göransson was there, which is the Swedish musician producer.
Is he composer?
He's the composer. He did the first one. He did all kinds of other movies now, and he's also like a music producer for the pop urban world. He did like the This Is America for Childish Gambino.
Oh, I love that song.
That song was mind blowing.
Yeah.
And he's like such an interesting guy because I don't know, he came here to study music and film school and scoring and stuff, and he's now just become he's like the next generation Hans Zimmer, John Williams, like, but new school. Like he just the way he incorporates beats,
but like more from like a production background than a scoring background.
No, I think he's a full-on musician.
Okay,
but he's also like a full-on, like he just uses this extremely interesting sounds and it just feels more fresh.
He does the whole Wakanda soundtrack with Fruity Loops.
Yeah, okay. No, he does, like, you could see this behind the scenes stuff. Like he's very like they spent months in Africa researching instruments, recording stuff, and just doing different stuff. Like it's just for him to see it and talk about like how he incorporated like really different, and he's a white Swedish guy and doing like basically African music. It's kind of different, obviously, and then to have the trust of the director who's black and to basically come up with these themes and to have it. He was probably like.
Yeah, because that was a big thing with the movie. It was all black cast.
Exactly,
right?
all black cast and all. And also, I think from the people, and there were costume designers and stage designers on stage, there were like 5-6 people. I'd say half of them were black, for sure, probably more. But like he stood out as the white Swedish guy with the little accent talking, and just but being in the mix of it and being so creative. Like I would just basically, in the movie, I sometimes would just close my eyes and just listen. Because I was
during the film.
Yeah, during the film, I was more interested in the soundtrack. I went there for the music. So
wow,
because I knew like this is going to be special. Because I watched making offs and I follow him, so I know what he's doing.
You know what he's capable of.
Yeah, what he's capable of, what he's doing, and he also wrote the songs. I think back to Rihanna, he wrote that one ballad song, Rihanna song. He's that was part of the that was part of the movie. She released a song.
Oh yeah.
For Wakanda Forever, because she
yeah.
didn't release a song for 5, 6, 7 years, and the only thing she released was for the Wakanda soundtrack.
Sad that the real not the real Black Panther, but the first guy died.
Yeah, that was also
very
like
sad.
And they paid tribute to him in the movie and outside the movie too.
Yeah,
you know? And but it was an interesting experience. And then also after that, because the Q&A went quite long, and the movie started at 7, 8, and for LA we got out of the theater at 11 or something.
Wow, right? That's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, that's a lot of sitting. But
because we were supposed to talk after it. I know, I'm still in the theater.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And then, but then it was like, okay, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And then the friends I was with, everyone was hungry. And then it's like, okay, there's no other option than Koreatown. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, all the restaurants in Hollywood. Oh no, it was a Monday or something. They all close at 9 or 10. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some diner 24/7, but no food. And then it's.
I like that European take. There's diners open, but no food, because that's not food to us.
Yeah, it is food, but it's like nothing.
Yeah, it's like burgers
that's last
resort.
option, last resort food.
Yeah, that's our first choice, like diners.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but then I was like, and then we like. There was an Asian guy also part of the group, and he's like, let's go to Koreatown. I'm like, I'm up for Korean barbecue anytime of the day, week, whatever. And then
I could go for it right now. I'm starving.
And the place was open till I think 12 or 1 at least. And we came in there, yeah, come in. And then last order was at midnight or something. And we stayed there till 1 or 1:30. We had soju. We had great Korean barbecue.
Do you have the pancake thing?
What do you mean?
The Korean pancake?
Oh, no.
That usually accompanies soju. It's like this big pancake they make with eggs and they eat it with soju.
We just had pure meat and
okay.
and it was fantastic.
Did they cook for you, or were you guys cooking?
Both.
Okay.
They started, but then he sort of left because we were the only ones left there. I think he just the waiter just got a beer. They just got drunk in the back or something. Yeah. So basically, but we had a feast there. Met some other peoples, and it was a fun night. But we also how come there's no during the week? There's people go to bed that early, right? There's the only real place where you can get some proper food is Koreatown, I guess, right? And
yeah, because there's a nightlife culture, maybe.
Yeah. But it was interesting, but. It was good. So I bookmarked that place because I think that's the place is going to save me. And also I found out, of course, in Koreatown, the Korean barbecue is much more affordable than if you go to Korean barbecue somewhere in Hollywood or West Hollywood or something like that.
I went to one in Beverly Hills and it was like, whoa. It was so good, but you're like, oh, this is insane.
Like double or triple the price than Koreatown.
Right.
So this was really good too. I forgot the name, but it was really fairly priced, which was great and felt like really authentic. We were there's so many only Koreans in there, pretty much. Yeah, so that was really good. Yeah,
it's always nice to get a nice food experience, and we're gonna start doing more lists of our favorite restaurants because we're like pretty big foodies.
We're foodies. We try out every restaurant and we'd call each other and raving, but oh my God, I just went to this place.
Yeah.
It's a sign of getting old also.
But we were like this in our 20s too.
That's true,
we would go around New York for the best pho.
I know,
The best pho is like a eternal quest. Every time you find, what's our one? We'll give them a shout out.
Pho Legend.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Is that? I think that's already Koreatown. Beginning of Koreatown.
Yeah, it's
below
Koreatown.
Silver Lake.
Yeah. It's our new favorite spot, like the one with the 3 beefs, and they really nail it. Not too fatty, good brisket, good rare beef.
We discovered it by accident. We were just looking on Google. It's like, what's the closest spot?
Closest one with the most stars, and
But sometimes the star rating trips with you, but this one was actually good.
I think it's like a 4.3.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's not even a 4.5.
Which you can kind of go either way.
Yeah. You always said if it's under 4.5, it's not. But then I never rate any restaurants, and I should be doing it more because
we're gonna rate them here. We're gonna give.
I guess but it's better to rate them on Google. I guess.
But then you gotta sign in. You gotta use your real name. Who's gonna do all that? I think those people are insane.
Yeah, but then that's why some of the Google things are off because I've eaten at great restaurants which had a lower ranking, and I've eaten at really bad restaurants which had a high ranking. So the ranking system.
Because people rank for different things. They rank for value sometimes or cheapness. You know.
Exactly, yeah. So, and then I don't know if it's the right opinion if a bunch of 1,000 Germans rank pho soup and there's not one Vietnamese person that ranks.
But you're both.
Yeah, I'm both. So I can do both. I can rank pho and I can rank Wiener Würstchen.
What's that?
That's like a German sausage.
Is it a currywurst?
The currywurst is a Berlin thing. Yeah, and
I love that when I came to Berlin and then you were showing me, you're like, this is where the president eats. It's just like a currywurst, like fries and sausage with ketchup.
I mean, there's in Berlin, there's an eternal quest for the best currywurst, and there's 2-3 places.
And currywurst is what?
I don't even know really.
But it's sausage.
It's a pork sausage. Sometimes you eat it without the skin and with the skin, and it's all about the sauce. So the sauce is the little spicy curry sauce in a way. And curry is obviously probably not very German. I feel like it's probably from India.
Probably.
And but it's for some reason in Berlin is known one dish or 2 dishes. It's the currywurst and the döner kebab.
Doner, because that's Turkish.
Kebab. It's Turkish, but it's a specific Turkish-German Berlin thing.
Yeah, there was that one near your studio that was so good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of döners and currywurst places in Berlin, but then there's one that apparently the chancellor of Germany goes to here and there. She ordered it back then, Angela Merkel, Angie, and it was called Konopkes, right in Prenzlauer Berg.
Yeah,
and it's right under.
That's the one you pointed out to me, in the middle of the road,
in the middle of the road, in the middle of a train station. And it's tasty, it's fun, but it's like comfort street food in a way still.
Yeah.
But it's good. Yeah. It depends. It's good after a long night out at 4 a.m. It's really good.
To soak up the alcohol.
Yeah. Perfect. Then it's a perfect food.
That's what you want out of your chancellor. Someone who's coming home a little bit tipsy after some good or bad decisions and soaking it up with some fries and currywurst.
So when is the next comedy
March 2nd. Okay. So I don't think this is going to come out in time, but
okay.
It's going to be Morgan J again, which we're going to have him on the pod. He doesn't know it yet, but he'll be here. And
shout out. Please
Morgan
come.
J. He's just really blowing up and just such a good person and so musical and just really a fun guy to be around with great energy. So
and then also, like, are you what are some new dates for you solo? Are you traveling around somewhere next? I
have a bunch of in-town dates, but I don't have any outside of LA dates right now.
Because I feel like the San Diego trip was a fun thing. It was also the start of the pod.
Yeah, it was the start of the podcast.
And I think we talked about
and that's one of my goals too, is to get more headlining gigs in different cities.
Yeah, but that's why we're here. We're here for the journey, the process, to see how these things with music and comedy, how they slowly but surely progress, and how it's about like doing the right things step by step and moving up the ladder in a way, but also having fun doing it. You know, let's not forget that.
We both, and I think us and everyone has a interesting balance of knowledge and learning. So we have a lot of knowledge in different areas, but we're also still learning in different areas. Like, you know, I've become like a de facto Adobe Premiere guy. I can edit, I can do all that stuff, and I'm still learning in that area. But then we both have deep music business knowledge, being at the highest levels. So it's a fun journey nowadays where you start to like want to do new things and everything's discoverable. The learning aspect through just like YouTubing something, or like I want to try this one effect. Like, how do I do it? You just look it up.
Yeah.
Remember in the studio, it was all just like it was audio lore. It was like secrets. It's like, how do you do that? You're like,
it's like, I
oh,
can't
you put matchboxes underneath the drum things. You're like, what? And it's like, oh, you take an NS10 speaker like out of the box and then turn it into a mic, and you're like, what? And it was like witchcraft.
Yeah, but. There was also a mystery and a beauty to that, obviously. But I think every day not learning, even a little thing, is like a day wasted. Yeah. So I feel like it's good to keep learning. And then also, like, I still learn a lot about, like, I'm constantly learning about, like, right now, because becoming more and more of a manager, it's about learning something to have the direct interaction. We just talked about this, to basically build a community, it almost goes back to the old fan club in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like, as an artist,
email lists,
like, where do you like funnel people into, but what kind of value do you give to the fans, and what kind of relationship do you have?
I love the newsletter approach to creating a community because it's so personal, and it's one-to-one, and it's really like, it takes a lot of work. It's probably the most work of them all, because a post is a post. You just like, fire it off, boom, whenever. But an email is like, you got to be consistent. Exactly. You got to actually write words, or get ChatGPT to write it.
Or have someone write, but you need to prompt it right, I guess. But you need to
ChatGPT write us a newsletter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what people do nowadays, apparently, already. Wow. Yeah. So basically, but it feels natural. And one thing, I was like, newsletter, because I thought newsletters are dead and stuff, and I still subscribe to some, but I don't really
like
follow
the Comedy Bunker newsletter. I'm sure you get that.
Of course, I get that now. I think what started for me was Bob Lefsetz again. Like, I think that the Bob Lefsetz letter.
I unsubscribed a long time ago, but
really? I still like.
But he's now a podcaster.
Of course, but he collected everything through the newsletter, you know, like, and I feel like that was like, and the email in essence, like, of course, it's like the if you talk to kids right now, they have an email, whatever, but they're on TikTok, they're on Be Real, they're on all these new things. But if you really grow older, like we're talking, like, and you book your own first flight, or you have a credit card or a bank statement, or you're gonna need an email, like a personal email.
Well, you need an email to sign up for your iCloud account.
Exactly. You need an email for everything.
They all have emails, but I think it's just the texting is a bit more immediate.
Yeah, of course. But that's why if you can reach someone in their personal email inbox and speak to them, and then have them even reply or interact.
And this is what we're gonna do, because we're like, and you mentioned in the car ride over here, like, we're going to capture their email, name, and ideally location and phone number. And then through those items, you can market it.
Yeah, and you can also create value and create different stuff and have like special things that you can only get through the email. It's like almost like a private club in a way.
Yeah, and that's what big brands do. Like, you sign up for the email list, you get 25% off. Exactly. Or you get this, or you get that, or you get shows before they go on sale.
I love the story that, I don't know if she does it anymore, but a friend of mine just told me, like, Lorde was pissed off at all the social media and Instagram, all that stuff, and she's like,
Lorde
you know
the
what?
Artist?
Lorde the Artist.
What was the song she did?
Royals was one. I mean, she had other hits too, and she just released an album, I think 1 or 2 years ago.
That song was so big.
So big. But
then nothing.
No, that's not true. Like, she did another 2 albums. I mean, you just know because you're a casual fan. I'm a pretty big fan, so I know she's just did an album with Jack Antonoff. And
okay.
I mean, she went a little bit in direction which me as a fan, like, I'm not following her that much anymore, but Royals and that whole album, Tennis Court, and also was mind-blowing, was so different. And because it was a different producer who's
and she was so young too, right?
Super young or whatever, 16, 17 or something, from New Zealand, and just created it all like in obscurity, like with this different producer who also tried out different things for himself. I think his name was Joey Little or something. And shout out to him, like, mind-blowing. And then, but anyways, she said, like, no more newsletter. I'm just gonna start
no more social media.
Social media. Sign up to my newsletter, and that's it. That's the last post she did, type of thing. And then people are like, what? And then you had to sign up to the newsletter, and then every week she would write like a pretty personal things that would happen in her life, what she's going through. She would also ask questions. People respond. Then next newsletter, she would basically answer those questions. So it felt like a fanzine, like a fan magazine, you know, like, and it also felt very personal. It felt like you either know or you don't, because you needed to be in that private newsletter club.
I wonder what she uses for a service, because I'm having a hard time.
I wonder too, because that's like, it's not that easy. Which one to find? I mean, there's the obvious big ones and stuff, but I feel like
I mean, MailChimp, Constant Contact, but I feel like there's got to be like a new, cooler one.
I'm actually funny. I'm on that right now because we need to start a newsletter too. So I'm talking to my friend. He's like, there's a couple new ones, as you said, with a different option, because it starts out fairly nice and stuff with MailChimp. It's all these, but then once you grow that list, it can get quite expensive.
And MailChimp keeps clamping it down. Now they limit you to 500 people.
Wow.
For your free plan, which is like, that's not cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna extend the 500 people shortly.
So I mean, my email list is well beyond that. So they're gonna turn mine down to.
I have thousands of contacts. It's just in my address book. If I convert them into
email but that's list, a little tricky thing, because you kind of need to give them. That's technically not cool.
I know. But
maybe in German.
Germany has really strict laws.
Oh yeah, they're the most strict.
They're most strict.
They'll take away your passport if you just sign everyone up for your email.
Yeah, but I feel like I know these people like personally, and then they can always leave, you know, like I get subscribed to email letters, and then it's always like, hey, we subscribe you, if you want to leave, it's okay, but then you end up staying because you kind of know the person. Exactly. So but I think that's not fully legal, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think you need to opt in. But also what I found with my email address list is that sometimes it does start to go down the more you market, but the open rates for the people who remain are very high. Like we're getting
quality, right?
I'm getting like 50% and above open rates, which is very big.
That's big, yeah. Because normally, that's what someone told me to. Like, I had this DJ, and she was like, I collected all these email lists, 20,000 people, but I think I can't just take them over now. All these new laws, I'm gonna start fresh. So she posted and she said, like, hey, I'm moving service, but you can only opt in. So she started fresh, and from the 20,000, probably only a few thousand opted in. But these are the hardcore, real super fans. And I think she said it's way more valuable to have a few thousand and grow from there and empower them and have a constant contact with them.
You're not losing anything. If your open rate goes up, and your total number of subscribers, because this is not a forward-facing metric. Like nobody knows how big your list is, so it doesn't matter. It's only the people who use it matter. Like Instagram, irrespective of your engagement rate, having that big number is important.
And what happened actually to Instagram?
Oh yeah, my Instagram. I was telling you, I was getting like, I don't know what the number was. Let's call it like 100,000 new people looking at my Instagram on the metrics, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. And then this month, it went down to like 20,000. It's just like, it's like a cliff. In terms of, and they break it down between the people who don't follow you, which for me was huge, versus the people who followed me. And now it's only the people who follow me they're serving my stuff to.
Of course.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, because they limit, that's their business.
It's too much power.
It's too much power. But that's, gotta play the game, gotta hack the game a little bit. And that's
just hope for the best, I guess. I like the plan. I think this should be our plan with this pod, is just post, but don't obsess over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it work, but then obsess over the email.
Yeah.
Obsess over that.
The real
thing.
people and the listeners who you want to create value for,
Right.
and that create value back to you.
Because you can't please the algorithm. You can't it can't be like something you chase. You don't even know what it is, and chasing it's like a game that's not.
You should never chase, anyways. But it's harder, easier said, and harder.
Don't be boring, don't be desperate.
Exactly, yeah. But then also, what happened to Instagram? Didn't they say like they wanted to take off the likes and sort of remove that pressure, and so people don't see how many? But I guess because it's such an important metric for their business, they didn't do it. Because I remember there was a thing like, hey,
likes are going away.
Likes are going. We're going away. We're going to test this, and it's not about the likes anymore. And
like just kidding.
Just kidding. Yeah, it's all bull. BS.
Well, the problem is that if you're thinking about it competitively, if you remove the likes, what do? You open up the door for a new competitor to come in and be like, hey, we do likes.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? So like you're just opening the door for someone else to do something that works.
And then you have no metric, really. And that's what it's about. So people look at the followers and the likes and the comments and all that stuff.
I don't know, like, Facebook now is so confusing. So the interface is all over the place. Like the page system, it's like, it's just not clear.
Because Zuckerberg.
It's like the Windows of. It's like
he's focusing on Web3 and the
VR,
metaverse.
Metaverse,
and that's a long bet, I guess. So maybe the core business is hurting a little bit. I guess.
I just find that like if someone knows, I would love like almost like a new update course on Facebook. Like you show me like what's important and what's not, because it's just it's a limitless. Site of sub menus and just nests.
Have you tried to go into the ad manager? Like if you're
that's what I'm talking. Not even getting to the. And then when you go in the ad manager, you're like,
God, that's like a.
And then that's tied to your Instagram, but it's not. But it is. But it's meta. But
just
it's
to try to run an ad and find out what you do. Like it's with the credit. It's
someone told me that the ad manager is better. But I ended up just giving up on it and just doing it from the phone.
Yeah,
because it's like 1, 2, 3.
Forget it. Like I've been to that, and I feel like I'm technically sort of savvy. And then
I think we're on the higher end of tech savvy, and I'm like, this is too much.
I didn't get it. I was like, where's what? Like I couldn't.
Yeah, or like what? Show us what's important.
Exactly. What do I do here?
Can they hire? Just go to go to Apple, book a meeting there, stand in a lobby, find someone who knows how to do UI stuff, and be like, come fix this.
Yeah, they're too proud for that, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is a good episode.
Cool, yeah.
We covered a lot.
Nice, good, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel up again. I was a little tired, but I think
coffee did it.
The coffee did it, but also like the inspiration, the talking. This is always more fun than I thought.
What if like we start doing it where you pick up the guitar and play us out?
I can, but this is not in tune. I was gonna tune.
Well, no. How about next time?
Next time, yeah, sure.
I'll plug it in and
a little amp. Do you have like a little amp? And then
no, you got to bring the amp.
I see if I have an amp, or we just plug it through Logic or something.
Yeah, and then you play us out.
Yeah, then I play you out and play you in. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's cool. Why not?
All right.
Cool. All right.
Tschüssi.
Take care. Tschüssi.